Hello and welcome to the podcast, The Way of the Sensitive. I'm your host, Cara Wilde. This is a podcast for those of us who feel called to live in a different way, to create a new society where diversity and uniqueness is celebrated, not shamed. We're the channels of the light, co-creating a heaven on earth upon this beautiful planet. We're here to live and achieve our soul's goals in this lifetime. To us, it's not woo, it's real. Calling all the magic makers, the mystics, the empaths, the sensitives, the starseeds, the autistic ones, sometimes sidelined, sometimes scapegoated, but we know that we're here to create new pathways in the one mind, because it's not just about traversing alternative dimensions, it's also about landing and being fully alive in this gorgeous world. And welcome to the podcast and the latest in the series of Channel Your Guides. Today we have Antonina Andreeva back on the show. You might remember her from episode 2. And Antonina channels the collective Ra. And Antonina is one of the students in my Channel Your Guide course. And I've also been working with Antonina to upgrade my ability to hold higher frequencies. So there's a lot of laughter in this one. We know each other really well, but oh my God, I am so excited. This episode is brilliant. You're in for a treat. So the general theme of this channeling from Ra is a discussion about true power and the origins of true power, but it goes into so much more than that. How to activate your heart, how the heart always needs to be in charge, and then keep your eyes peeled and your ears pinned back for the part where Ra tells us how to birth our true desires into physical reality and how true power creates form. So much in here, so much good stuff, and a special treat around, well, it starts exactly at 50 minutes and 55 seconds in, 555, wouldn't you just know it? Antonina channels a light language from Ra and then Thor, which is a activation to remember your true self. Love this, enjoy it, see you on the other side. Hello everybody and welcome to the podcast The Way of the Sensitive, and this is fourth in the series of the Interview Your Guide series. Series. I said that so well. Anyway, you all know what I'm talking about, and today we have got the gorgeous Antonina back with us. Hello. Thanks so much for doing this and being here.
Are you joking? Pleasure. It's just like we were saying before, like I get to hang out, have fun, channel, and call this work. Like, can we just do that every day?
Shall we? I know. Yeah, it's just brilliant. So,
yeah.
how for those people that don't know you, because I know quite a few of our listeners do know you, and you're in a couple of groups that I'm in. So, how did channeling get started for you? What was that like?
What a great question. So I've always experienced a sense of just knowing things and downloading things, and they tended to come out in group environment. Like I always had the answer without actually knowing the answer. Mm-hmm. So I was always the girl with answers. I have been interested in the whole channeling thing for ages. But of course, like a lot of people who kind of start dabbling into it, was a little bit apprehensive. And then, well, I met you. It's not been a couple of years, and you were preparing the course. And this was my kind of like a hit to really experience that for myself. It was just like a bell inside, like where you just went, I'm ready. I want to do this. I have since come into knowing that, in fact, yes, I'm a channel, but the work that we needed to do with you is to clean it up, to stabilize it, to just like improve it so that I'm fully aware when I'm doing. It was like I was an unconscious channel.
Yes, right. Yes, that's really interesting, because the lady that I just interviewed this morning said exactly the same thing. It's like it's always been around in some way, but then consciously deciding to do it was a whole other journey.
Yeah, it's like coming into so it's like a gift, but it was all about coming into your gift and becoming really good in your gift.
Yeah, so the skill, the skill of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Happens with every profession. Yeah. So.
Exactly that. I had the analogy of my head, like, yeah, you can sort of drive by joyriding a car, or you can just like go and do the official thing and like just like own the road. So it was about owning the road.
Okay. And so now you're a starseed, right?
Yeah. Out and proud.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking, I wonder if I've just outed it.
So, I thought the last spiritual closet I think I need to come out of like publicly is the channel closet, but I've been getting so many downloads to do it that it's like I actually had somebody, Cara, message me today and went, I had a dream that you wanted to get on my live. She goes, I don't know if it's a dream or reality. Like, I actually needed to run it past you. And I was like, well, obviously it's a sign for me. They're like, listen, if we're not going to get you in your dreams, we're going to go into somebody else's dream. I have the message. So I was like, don't worry, I received the message. Thank you.
Brilliant. And that's like, so this, who do you channel?
Right. So when I took your course, it was just like out of the world amazing. I think it took me to connect maybe 3 times, but then I connected to this whole galactic world. And as far as I know, I was channeling my Arcturian guide. Mm-hmm. Now, since the work that I myself have been stepping out and deepening, and obviously we've done some work together, I feel like those are part of my team, but I have the ability to channel different energy streams, as you would call them. And so there is a stronger and more galactic influences coming through, which is what I'm hoping we're going to hook up with today. But either way, I mean, Arcturians are a lot of fun. They're really clever, and they've got a gorgeous perspective on things. So even, it's not like one below the other. They're both great, but because you held space for me last time, we know that the other energy stream is very strong, powerful, and has connection to Egypt. So I'm hoping, my intention is that's who we're going to connect with, because I feel its presence and I feel its power around me these days.
Okay. And I think that's a really good point, is when you first open to channel, quite often there is like a holding guide to get you ready and to stabilize you for the collective maybe that wants to, or somebody else that wants to come through. And
the way I see it, part of our work together was exactly that. So to stabilize the frequency, because of the visions that I'm receiving, the kind of the downloads that I'm receiving. I used to receive them before, but my body, like now I understand what you mean by like sometimes you need to be able to hold the frequency, wasn't always able to hold that frequency, and my human would just like freak out. Whereas lately it's been just like, it just descends upon me. I know what's up. I know what's going on. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Let's write it out. So,
and so for listeners, I'm not going to want to put any pressure at all on Antonina today, but we were in a group channeling session as part of the course, and Antonina came through with a light language that had me in tears. So I'm kind of like, just a little bit hoping that that's going to come through today.
I would love
but you never
that.
know.
Yes. I know, again, from the work that I've been doing, that light language is a massive part of it, that sound and frequency in general is a massive part of it. So I know that you're such an amazing, beautiful space holder. So I'm comfortable enough to allow that part of myself to come through. So yeah, here's hoping it's going to show up. I'm giving a disclaimer. My hands
just
go.
a channel.
That's part of the language. So you will,
of course.
Yeah. So how it started coming through. Like,
just let me say, for people that are just on audio only, Antonina's moving her hands, and as she's channeling, part of the way that she brings information through is a movement of hands as well. So you won't see that obviously on the audio, but the video it'll be there. You
can imagine it. So the hands are going, and that's how the light language started to come in. The more it seems that the more I allow them to move, the clearer where I receive the information, and now it's slowly coming into the sounds, and I'm just allowing it to flow. It's a very interesting thing. I'm getting into it, but yeah, it was such an amazing feedback to hear how the receiver feels, because of course it's the original language of the universe, and so it speaks deep to your soul.
Yeah. So for anybody that is listening, and even if you're driving a car, you know, obviously be mindful of your attention, but just set your intention to allow yourself to tune into that language, because it won't make sense to you on,
it's
you know,
gibberish on a human level, completely.
But you will feel it vibrationally, energetically, or in your body, however you want to, you know, describe that. So you're ready to go, girly?
Yes. So I'm doing my posture, and then I'm going to, I really want,
You all right? Do you need anything to do anything else before we get going, or you're
No,
all
I'm just going
okay.
I'm down. We're doing this.
Just give me a nod then.
Okay, they're saying they're here.
Okay. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can I ask who we're speaking to?
We are Ra.
Hello, Ra. It's good to connect with you again. Are you, I know we understand Ra from our Egyptian history, but are you a collective or a singular being as you speak through Antonina now?
We are collective.
And roughly how many, we like to quantify things in physical reality, so, you know, forgive us for that, but how many are in your collective?
I'm hearing we are four entities.
And what's your intention for connecting with us at this time?
Okay. I'm sort of going to step in here because sometimes it comes in as a picture. So the intention here is to inform people about true origins of power.
Ooh.
Yeah, it seems like a big pertinent subject right now.
Okay, so I know this is a big question, but for at the moment, what do you want us to know about the true origins of power right now?
Power is an energy. Power is an energy that is available to you, and we have forgotten how to exercise our power, be in our power, express our power without using force.
Okay, so power is an energy.
Power is an energy. Power is a vibration, I guess. That's what it was trying to be put forward here. Power is a frequency. My bad.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. All right, so power is a frequency. How does that differ? How does power as a frequency differ to the vibration of love as a frequency?
Mm-hmm. The vibration of love comes from the heart. The vibration of love opens doors. The vibration of love inspires, creates, and resonates in the hearts of others. What I'm seeing in my Mind's eye here, Kara, vibration of power, stepping in,
Okay.
is about, so I'm seeing like a very different stream of energy.
Yeah.
It's very direct, very focused.
Yeah.
Vibration of power comes from obviously the solar plexus. Vibration of power is about will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so focused will. It's a stream. That can, it's a stream that can move. It has the quality of water in its strength.
Yeah.
But it's in its strength and ability to be consistent about and direction, drive, and focus, and ability to kind of just move things in their way. And I'm also shown here that this was the very thing that how the pyramids were created. Right? This is what just came through. So this power, this will, when you're in possession of it, that's how they were building the pyramids, I believe.
Okay. Right. So, right, it sounds like the heart energy is a connector and an opener. And it connects us to each other and it opens opportunities. So it's like how we, that's, yeah, so it's an opener and connector. And this will stream is a force for, how do those two work together, actually? How does the heart and the will work together?
Okay, so this is the heart and the will coexist with each other in harmony. Right. Right. So the power of love is about primal creation, right? Without love, there is no creation. The power of will is what pushes the creation into being.
So that's what brings form.
Yes, exactly that. Yes.
Okay.
So vibration of love is the primary creation. Vibration of will is that whole shtick about taking massive action, except it's not. It's about pushing form into being.
So I know that we're taught, and this works for me, that opening the heart center, we focus on beauty, we focus on what moves us. Quite often we look at things in nature or our pets, and that like opens our hearts and allows that magnetic force of our heart to begin its journey. How do we connect to this flow of will as you're describing it, rather than this like forcing, but this flow? How do we connect to the flow of will and power?
The flow is accessed through opening the door. Interesting. Okay. The flow is accessed through, it's to do with the left side and the right side, and the left side and the right side of the brain. That's what I was shown here. So it's somehow connected to the left side. That's what I heard. Let me see if we can get further explanation of this. The left side of the body. The left side, yes. It's connected to the right side of the brain, right? Yes, the right side of the brain. And so when these two work in unison, yes, the person can channel their heart energy or something to creation.
Okay. So
there is a connection that happens here. So because I'm getting downloads and words, and so there's a connect. There is an important piece about having the left side of the body to the right side of the brain, and that gives the channel, like a meridian, maybe an opportunity for this energy to rise, and then for the creation to take place. So there's this whole piece of like it needs to rise to the next level. Perhaps it needs to be seen, right? So then the vision is formed, like I know what to do.
Yeah.
And then once the vision is formed, I guess you can talk about the vision, because yes, it's the talking about the vision, and then doing it. So then there is just like a clear picture of knowing how, what, and why you're doing it. And so these are the building blocks which form will, which is a frequency or vibration that's available to us, because then once there is clarity around what, how, and why you're doing it, the next thing is the desire to actually bring that into form, this idea, as it were.
Okay, so that's almost like, so that is like action's the final piece. So we open our hearts, we receive the love impulse, and then we process that information and give ourselves a clear vision of what that might look like. And then we can start taking action, and that's what allows the flow of power to come through us.
Yeah, it's like this whole piece creates clarity, and once we have clarity, we know what to do, and so the doing becomes the next obvious thing. It's the next logical step.
Yeah.
So then we're working with the laws of creation, laws of the universe, law of creation. So then that is the next building block.
So, Ra, does the heart always come first?
The heart must always come first.
How have we misunderstood power?
By mistaking power with force. True power, hearing the true power must always come from the heart space, processed by the head. First from the heart, then from the head. When power comes from the head, it becomes force.
Okay.
So it becomes logic, and logic can be forceful. There is no heart, and then it's not true power. It's merely force. It's wanting something for the sake of wanting it. There's no love in there. Whereas true power, it's to use will, it rises from the heart, then goes into the head, then seeing, and then creating, and then feeling the beauty and the satisfaction from that creation, knowing that it came from the heart.
That's gorgeous. So really, looking at Antonina's hands and your description, it's like the top chakras come first, and then through our will and action, we start to feel it through the base, through the solar plexus. And then we can have satisfaction, which I always associate with my sacral center.
Yes,
the nourishment of creativity unfolding, and then the experience of that is through the base chakra.
Yes, that's what I saw in the base, sacral. Then then it's the full soul actualized creation. So
Yeah.
rising into potential, thinking, seeing, doing, receiving the pleasure and grounding it in the physical.
Oh, I love that.
We have forgotten how to work with the universe and creation. We have become cut off from the truth and the true knowledge of power. True power must always come from the heart, through the head, and then into creation. But heart must always come first.
How would you help us understand how we can connect more with our heart impulses or our soul's desires rather than the desires of the mind? I think you're kind of saying to not, to listen to the desires of the heart. How can we tap into that?
Trust. Trust the journey that's unfolding in front of you. Feel into that desire. Feel into that desire. There is a piece about expansion and contraction, or that the desire will always have a feeling attached to it, an emotion and a feeling. Whereas like a thought will not be as charged. Does that make sense? As a frequency.
Yeah. So it has a different quality. Is that similar to, I call those feeling tones, I guess. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Yes, feeling tones, frequencies and feeling tones. Let's see. Feeling tones is what they are. Thoughts that are charged, I want to say, with emotion.
Yeah.
So it's like there is a full quality to them rather than empty quality. I'm almost giving a visual of like bullets. So thoughts can be like bullets. They're just like boom, 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 boom. Whereas the feeling tones, they are more like sperm. So they're seeds of seeds of creation. So it's about marrying creation into the physical form, vibration. First you must feel, second you must think the how. So first you must feel or connect to the heart and see where this journey is going to take you. Then you must decide.
Okay. So we have this tricky relationship with desire in physical reality, which I'm sure that you're aware, but we kind of can sometimes see desire as dangerous. And the mundane kind of explanation of that is sometimes we desire loads of chocolate and drinks to numb our experience and our emotions, but we still, I suppose my question is, how do we recognize the difference between a compulsion and a genuine desire of creation that wants to flow through us, how do we recognize the difference?
True desire has a particular quality, a feeling tone. Must come. So what you're talking about is distortion, and distortion is connected to the chakras. So the impulsions, compulsions, addiction is distortions in the chakras.
Okay.
And so that creates a filter, and that filter then acts as a guiding, like it takes us on a different journey, right? So once this has been dealt with, you'll be able to recognize the true quality of desire. And what was coming up is that the qualities, it's very joyful, pleasurable. It just has such a positive quality. I'm seeing sacral all the time. It's just like it's just very zesty, orangey, delightful. You just can't wait to experience. Very clean quality.
Okay.
Very like summer's day, biting into like a juicy orange, like pure delight. Like it's my delight.
Okay, so the difference between the true desire is associated with delight. That's that's a finer vibration. Whereas when there's a distortion, there is kind of like my kids say it's dirty, like a dirty kind of feeling. So how do we clear up the distortions of the chakras?
Okay. Dirty. He scrubbed onto the dirty, like dirty. Good explanation. The dirtiness is weighted down, and so there is this desire. It does not allow it to rise. So fully, and to do this cycle that we're talking about, right? It kind of drags it down, and it becomes distorted, and then it's not realized. It's not soul actualized. It's like half soul actualized. So it's unfinished. The cycle of creation is not fully completed. So it's like a bastard idea in this sense.
It's a what, sorry?
Like a bastard idea, I heard.
Yeah.
So it's like a half loved, half created idea. Right. So the chakras. We must clean the chakras. Yes. Well, so there's the piece about to remember who we are, attune to the vibration of who we are, or we want to truly are. Oh, this is all going now. Open. So there's this thing about washing your chakra with lights. I'm showing it like this, but it's not like that. So it's the more we allow the lights to go through the chakra and the ground. The more we kind of connect to the earth. So I'm hearing like sort of energetic hygiene. The more this movement occurs, the more we allow for the universal current to travel. The universal current acts as I'm hearing as a download of sorts. When they're connected in the heart, it creates an opportunity. It creates this connection where this frequency, this field of love is formed. And from out of the sacred alchemy marriage, then, so the idea is like the child of the Father Sky and Mother Earth. And so then begins the journey into form. So by washing the chakras with light and and working on removing distortions and illusions, he's saying. Illusion. And the more we remove those filters that are distorting this alchemical marriage between the two parts, he's calling it the father sky and the mother earth.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like it wasn't we must remember who we are first before we can learn. We learn true power. We must remember how to be true to ourselves before we can experience true power. We must remember what is that? We must remember to see the truth of who we are.
Could you tell us the truth of who we are?
It is what? Hold up, I'm tuning to the answer.
I've got a slightly different question as well if the question's not right.
Yeah, I think it's just too much of a big download.
That is a big download. So, so my sense is that what you're saying as well is from a human level, we access our power by owning our truth, not listening to others, not listening to what other people tell us, but really learning how to connect to our own truth, even if that changes over time. But that our truth is our source of power in any given moment.
Yes.
And do we need to know anything beyond that, to know our true ultimate connection of who we really are? Is that enough to just know our personal truth in the moment?
Okay. The truth of who you are is the truth of who you're being in that moment. Every moment is a moment of creation. You are who you say you are. You are what you do you are. Yeah?
Yeah, do you are, yeah.
You are what then you think you are, and that's what you become. We are all made up of energy. And we're all creating and recreating. Oh, it's a holographic projection of energy particles that are assembling and reassembling in any given moment.
I can see that. So it's a state of flux and fluidity.
Yes.
Which is, and so that's why we can see the beginnings of manifestation in our physical reality, and then they stop because we've changed the mind. And I once came across a channeled information that said that reality snaps back to whatever self-image we have, who we say we are.
Yeah, so I think you're seeing part of my download here. So it's this particle, and then they assemble and reassemble, and it's like the matter is just the fabric of the universe is fluid.
Yeah.
And so there are particles that come into play of matter, and this is why, like, everything is a play. It's like Play-Doh. We can just create and recreate it at any time. Of course, we have forgotten that, but it shows me this beautiful fluidity and this quality that I'm just like, I feel like I'm just playing with it. Like, whoa.
So what would you say to, like, beliefs that we have about ourselves, like I am statements, like in terms of I am fat, I am thin, I am rich, I am poor. Sometimes we know that our thoughts manifest, but we struggle to believe that we can be any different. What would you say to that?
Right. As you were talking, what I was getting at is this, it's an attempt to put matter into form. We are, after all, who we say we are. Okay. It's part of the journey, but also what I'm seeing, it's like a cycle. It is for us to realize that part, that we are who we say we are. So you were saying, example, I'm fat, I'm thin. That is also part of creation. That is up to us to know and realize that we are who we say we are. Yeah. So there is no negative and positive from that perspective. You want to be fat, you be fat. You want to be thin, you be fat. It's the soul. It's all an experience from that. What is that? Like all of the experience for a soul, it's all part of the experience. But it's also, there is a piece that's coming through here, which is about responsibility. Do you think it's somebody else is making you fat or thin? You are who you say you are. You're responsible for saying who it is you are. So if you're naming it, if you're giving it a name, this is like a big piece about creation again. We are the creators of the universe. So if you're creating yourself to be fat, who are we to say that you are not? You are who you say you are. That is the true origin of power.
Oh, okay.
It's not so much the true origin of power, but it's like responsibility. So there's another piece coming in, another building block. Ultimate radical responsibility.
Oh, I could feel that coming through then.
Yeah. That was like, ooh.
Yeah. Okay. So that's really moving away from any level of victim consciousness then. Okay. So we really need to stop paying attention to reality as much then. That's coming through over and over and over again.
What is reality? It is a constricted, it's a matrix. Ooh. Feels like it's a collective of thoughts, feelings, vibration, frequency. I was showing like a big dome, right, inside of us, and all of those things are learning how to create and coexist together. What does that mean? Hold up. So it's like I'm keep showing the biodome. It's the Garden of Eden for somehow. So that's, oh, okay. Let me see if I can put that into words. So the biodome is like I'm having biblical things here. It's like the Garden of Eden, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so it starts off with, again, it goes back to the myth of creation. It's like it starts off with harmony, and then there is something that happens, and it's like myth creating and recreating itself all the time. So the whole idea, I'm being taken somewhere, bear with me,
Mm-hmm.
is it's like order out of chaos, and then chaos out of order, and then order out of chaos. It's a rhythm. We're now moving into the rhythm of vibration.
Yeah.
Breathe breaths of life.
So as we breathe out, that whole concept of breathing out, we breathe out form. Breathing in, we're breathing in the idea of what we want to create next. And as we breathe out the form of that.
Yeah, like there is a wave of, and in between the wave, in between the breath, and like all the other things happen.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. I think I just got that. Because there is no time and space. Everything happens instantaneously. So it's all happening in the now.
Yes. And like we're all part of that creation. So it's like there is the biodome, we're the biodome inside the biodome. And then there's a microbiome inside of us, which is, our own microcosm and space. Like, wow, it's blowing my mind as I'm talking to you. Right? So it's like, it's the creation of recreation down to the individual, but it's all the same.
Okay.
And so like imagine a globe, right? And it's all the people living on the globe, and they're like working their things out and like working all of this bits out. And the very same thing happens. This very same microcosm lives inside of you and exists inside of you. It's the very same microcosm that exists in the universal things. So it's everything and nothing and everything in between. The breath and the beginning and the end. Like, wow.
Yeah, and that's really tapping into Bruce Lipton's work about we are a cell in amongst the globe, and then we are a globe that has a collection of cells, and it's just,
wow.
It's just
this is the second time his work is coming into my awareness today. Yes. I haven't read it because obviously when I started exploring this part of myself, I was told to put all the materials away, but yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I've got kind of the last couple of questions. Ra, what can you tell us about the bit that you mentioned about how the pyramids were formed? Because I'm really curious about that. I know that's a big ask.
The pyramids were formed by the power of, there was a voice command. Okay. Hold on. It was, they were using the kinetic energy to move them. So they, all right, so I'm getting the visual download. So they were a generator. They were a power generator.
Yeah.
Okay, they were a power generator, and it's to do with there is a sacred geometry piece coming into place. It's a perfect formation of three sides: the father, mother, and son. Something, third division, because it also has to do with like when they were created. So father, mother, son, and then the kinetic energy was used to what is that? I feel like it's to move them, to move maybe the pieces to build the form.
Mm-hmm.
So where does power come into it? power was like power is what brings things into form. Power is like what unites this. So once they were formed, then it's the kinetic energy to like build them out. Okay. He goes, let me speak. Sorry. Okay. Kinetic energy is used through power, a voice. Kinetic power. I'm sorry, what? Is an energy. It's used to build the pyramids.
Uh-huh. That's cool. That's a massive question that I've just asked you.
Kinetic energy. Like it has the energy potency to move form.
Yeah. Thank you. That taps in with a lot of what I channeled when I first channeled Aurora around this too. So that's interesting. Maybe we should compare notes.
Yeah. Sorry, live interruption. This is how we roll. Yeah, what's happening now, Kara, is, I'm getting, this would like take another half an hour. So I'm getting a visual download of like UFOs arriving and things being built out. Yeah. And it's like a movie inside my head going on now. So they were bringing through the electricity, something like this white thing that's now. So there's like a whole movie. It's a big piece. I think we'll need to come back to that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like I say, there's a lot of overlaps with what Aurora first told me when I started channeling it, and then when I went on to study Nassim Haramein and his work over with the pyramids, and he was saying it was moved through sound, and I can't remember all the details now, but it's interesting where we get pieces from when we open up to channeling, and it all can sound really futuristic and far-fetched, but they're all kind of saying really similar things. Yeah. So, Ra, a final question. If there is one thing that you would want us to know right now, what would that be? Just a quick break to let you know that if you are intrigued by channeling and there's a part of you that is just so curious and wondering if channeling is an itch that wants to be scratched for you, I want to say that channeling is a skill and not a gift. And those of us that are drawn to channeling, whether it be verbally channeling your art, channeling your work, channeling your creativity, those of us that are drawn to it, I can absolutely do it. I have no doubt, which is why I created the Adventures in Consciousness course, where people can learn to connect with their guides, hold that frequency, and then bring messages in as guidance for their own lives and for the lives of others. A little known fact about this group, we also have a channeling circle once a month where we all jump on a call and we get to practice our channeling skills in a really safe environment. The latest channeling circle that we just had was just a flow of channels working together, bringing a collective of information about wealth. We also have one a month Q&As from me, anything that you want to know about channeling your guides, channeling different streams, different vibrations, different frequencies, and also how to stabilize your channel in physical reality. So if that's something that interests you, come over to carawild.com, and there is a tab on the right top that says Channel Your Guide. Come and have a look, see if it's for you, and we'd love to have you in there. Back to the podcast.
Okay, I feel like I want to speak my language.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Ia sakadakanya matakalika sa ia ni kalarasa matakabala kana matakata pitikatari kata sana matakaji kata 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 ai kana sakata patakata matakata kata 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 sana matakata kata 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 Isai trabalhar para como some sort of a frequency attunement. It's a frequency attunement, yes. To see things how they are and to remember your power is always inside of you, not outside of yourself, of your being. Selamat kata 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 sepatasi kata 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 tino kata kata selamat kata 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 sama saya karena kata saya kala isakana kata 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 this sound vibrations are going to remind you of who you are on your own personal level and journey. What you came here to do. Now. I believe there was a change and Thos is speaking through me. Thos speaks. I'm Thos. I came here to remind you of your original frequency. Sound vibration in the universe. It's like a soul song. Mm. And so he's here, he's talking through me, some sort of an activation, if you will, to remember that true frequency so that you can tune into your truth and the truth of your power and the truth of who you are. And sort of like that's where the journey starts. So we stepped outside of ourselves and forgot.
Yeah.
We started looking here and here and here and here. But it's all in here. So this is the reminder to remember who you are.
I can feel energy coming from that point, I'm sure. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for being with us today.
Okay. And the last piece I want to mention to you, because we're in the space. So it felt like there were four, he said. So it's to do with the Egyptian pantheon. And I'm almost feeling like all of these are just, the kind of the representation we had of the Egyptian pantheon. They're just an emanation of the same frequency.
Okay.
Hence, It's not a different entity. It's the same frequency, but it's different vibration or something, quality.
Mm-hmm. Different expressions of that same one. Yeah.
Different expressions of the truth and power, something like that, he's saying. Okay. This is who we are, he said. This is who we all are. Okay. Okay, I'm going to open my eyes now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm back in the room.
Damn, girl, I don't know how you make your mouth move that fast. How did you keep up with that?
I don't know what happens or how. I'm just like, it sounds gibberish, but from learning last time, I'm just expressing it and trusting what you're to receive as the frequency. But I knew from like listening to others that particular what you heard, that was Thoth. He speaks like that.
Right, because that was different from the original
Yes,
language that I heard you speak.
Yes.
So I'd be really interested to hear if like our listeners over in the Facebook group, whether they, how that impacted them, whether they, how they felt it on an energy or bodily experience. That'd be really cool. There was some really good creation information there. I found that I loved that. Thank you. I found that really useful on a personal level, that interplay between will and power and a heart impulse.
Yeah, as you know, I'm receiving a lot of things down, but it's all to do so at the back of it, it's all to do with mathematics. It's a mathematical code, and they're kind of schooling me on this, the whole creation. But your questions were really good, because then he was able to show it on the point of chakra, which I too wasn't aware of. So like sometimes when I was tuning in, it was just like, oh yeah, cool. Mm-hmm. And then I would like pull back to let the information come through.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yay, thank you
for being with
that
us.
Was
and
fun.
I would ask listeners to tell us about that vibrational impact, but also about like what their takeaways are about how they can embrace this true power, and how they can make manifest in their life what it is that they want to experience, what they've got from that channeling around.
Oh yes, I would love to hear some feedback, because obviously when you're in the moment, I know that this isn't, it wasn't that I can partake, but that feedback would be great and so important. Mm-hmm. That piece would be the final piece. So thank you for holding space for me and allow me to. I think I'm out of my channeling closet.
Oh, you're welcome. It was wonderful. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.